Today I'm going to take a bit of a detour away from my normal ramblings on various topics that I talk about. And there's a reason for this. It's something that's been on my mind for quite some time, and just in recent days it's become more and more in my thoughts, because I wonder if there is ever going to be a resolution to this. And what I'm talking about is the Epstein case, the Epstein files, the whole situation surrounding Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I'm not an American, I don't live in America, but this case, I think, has affected so many people across the world. Not affected as being involved, but affected as being interested, concerned, wanting a resolution, people to be held accountable. And this has become, I'm sure, is a worldwide thing. I hear a lot of people on YouTube over this last wee while, I see people are saying, you know, what do you people in the rest of the world think about us here in America? What's your real opinion? Because we never hear anything here. I'm going to tell you what my opinion is. My opinion is, for a country that claims to be the best country in the world, to be the richest country in the world, to be better than everyone else, I believe you're a laughingstock. And the reason is because you have got going on at the moment a case that involves there are words that I can't use on YouTube, but it involves actions against young, vulnerable teenage girls going back to the 1990s, early 2000s. And after all this time, people are still not being held accountable. The only person that really has faced the courts, no, there's been two, is Jeffrey Epstein, who very, very conveniently unalived himself in about 2019 whilst in jail. And that's debatable, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on that as well. And the other one is Ghislaine Maxwell, who went to court and was convicted, given a sentence of 20-something years for her part in the whole schmozzle of the Epstein case. And here she is now living on the hog at the American taxpayers' expense, or on their dime, in a fancy so-called prison, and that's laughable, making a fool of everybody. And she's making a fool of everybody. She's got dirt. She knows what the dirt is. But it's surprising how power and money can give you tongue tie. There are so many people in America, my understanding is that there are allegedly so many people with power and with disgustingly exorbitant amounts of money who are paying for this to all go away. And I really hope it doesn't go away. I hope that the people who were involved are held accountable, that they face the music of their actions and involvement, and at least give America a bit of credibility across the world, that you can get to the bottom of something this bad. Now, I think back to the 1960s. As an example, in England, they had what they called the Profumo affair. I'm not sure if too many people are familiar with it, but This was in the early 60s, and it actually rocked the whole British society and politics. And it involved a young English model and a showgirl called Christine Keeler. Now, because of her relationships, she was supposed to have had a relationship also, not only with Profumo, but with a guy called Yevgeny, I think his name was Ivanov, who was a Soviet naval attaché. There was fear that his connections could be exploited by foreign powers. That incident of John Profumo being involved with Christine Keeler and her other people that she was involved with, I mean, it was huge. It was huge in Britain at the time. And here we have a guy in America who allegedly has had contacts all around the world with supposedly Arab princes, prime ministers, our British Andrew, formerly known as Prince, and so many people, moneyed people, business people, high profile people. There's been positions have been named, but there's been names have been put out there, but I don't think there's been anything proven. And it's about time something happened. Because from what I can see, you've got tens and hundreds, I think, I'm not sure what the number is, of young girls who have come forward, who have given evidence about these people who allegedly performed acts and kidnappings or trafficking or whatever you call it. And they're just being ignored. The president called it a hoax, the Epstein hoax. When is America going to step up and show the rest of the world that they are not prepared to put up with this, no matter how much money's involved, how powerful these people are? Because quite frankly, it is sickening. And as a woman who has a mother of daughters, a grandmother of granddaughters, a great-grandmother of great-granddaughters, I am appalled at this behaviour, and that so many people so far have not been held accountable. Even those that have been held, like Andrew, he's been stripped of just about everything that he has, other than the clothes that he wears, but he still denies it. Now, when is somebody going to front up and say, yes, this happened, these people were involved, and let them pay and face the music and pay the penalty for their crimes? I don't care who they are. I don't care how rich, how powerful. I just wish somebody would open up, tell the truth, put the facts on the line, and get the truth out there so that these people can be held accountable. I hope now that we've got this Arizona lass, Grivalda, can't remember her name, once she's sworn in and they do a vote on the Epstein files, I hope that's going to take a step closer. But I bet you the people in power and those that have got money will do anything to make sure that that list never comes out. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But they've got away with it now for 20-something years. It's been kept secret for all this time. It's deny, deny, deny. I wasn't involved. And so far, those people that have got the information haven't got the balls to stand up and say, this is the information. There are so many cowardly people who have got information that could make a difference to this case. To give those girls that were the victims of all of this, to give them some type of closing. And to think of that young lass, Virginia Giuffre, who ended up committing suicide. She was the one that opened this all up, and she committed suicide. That there's debatable as well, because I wouldn't be surprised if money and power had something to do with her demise as well. And I think the same thing with Jeffrey Epstein. The last thing I believe is that it would have been a suicide. I don't know if I think to myself that perhaps he is still alive. He was skipped out of there, given his freedom to get out, say nothing, change his identity, or whether he was actually silenced by somebody. What's it going to take for the truth to come out? The whole lot of it is BS. Everybody, all these disgusting, dirty, horrible men that have been involved in this, and the woman as well, who stood beside them, like the one that's in prison, like Ghislaine Maxwell. It's disgusting that these people are allowed to breathe the air that the rest of us breathe. And I just hope something happens, that they are held accountable and that they end up having to pay for their crime. I know this probably, it might not even get accepted on YouTube, but I felt that I can't stay quiet any longer. I know I feel my opinions are the same as so many other people that I talk to. As I said, I'm not an American, I don't live in America, but America wants to know what the rest of the world thinks of them. While this is going on, you're in the pits. You're in the absolute pits. Because too many people that have got information and have got knowledge haven't got the courage to come forward. So that's my point of view on this. I don't know, as I said, whether this will actually get to YouTube or not. Maybe they'll ban me, I don't know. But I just felt I had to at least say something, and I've done that. So if you've stayed with me this long, I'd like to hear your opinions. If this is the first time you've been here, thank you for dropping by. If you've come back from watching a previous video, you'll find that it is nothing like anything that I've posted before. I apologise for that. But anyway, I will just ask you all to take care, to stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.